Good morning, children. Today we'll start with a new topic, a very important topic which you may be hearing nowadays. It's immunity. Now, do you know what is immunity? The overall ability of a living body to fight against diseases. It's the ability of our body to protect against infections, foreign particles. So, by immunity, our body becomes resistant to different types of diseases. Now, first, when we study about immunity, we should study about the white blood cells which help us in providing this immunity. You know, the white blood cells are known as leukocytes. Now, leukocytes are also differentiated into two parts. These are granulocytes and agranulocytes. The granulocytes have granules in their cytoplasm, and when they are stained, they give a color. So these are granulocytes. These are also of three types: neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils. Neutrophils, as you see, if you see the diagram, it has a multi-lobe nucleus. That's why it is known as polymorphonucleated lymphocyte, PMNL. Basophils are mostly double nucleus they have, and they are basic in nature, and they have a purple color when they are stained. Eosinophils are acidic in nature, and they provide a red color on staining. So these are your granulocytes. We'll study about them. What is their function? Now, second type are agranulocytes. Agranulocytes are those which do not have granules. They are also of two types: monocytes and lymphocytes. And these are again divided. Monocytes will be divided into macrophages and dendritic cell, and lymphocytes will be divided into two types. The larger ones are known as natural killer cells, and the smaller ones are again of two types: B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. Now let us study in detail about the granulocytes. Now, if you see, children, they provide a color, and the most important are neutrophils. They have a multi-nucleated nucleus. That's why they are known as polymorphonuclear leukocyte, or in short we also call them PMNL. Now, what they come out of blood and reach the site of infection by diapedesis. What is diapedesis? Diapedesis means by amoeboid movement, and they are most abundant. The phagocytic leukocyte against bacterial infections. So they are produced in a large number, and phagocytic means like amoeba captures food. Similarly, they also engulf the pathogens, mostly the bacterial pathogens. So neutrophils are one of the very important soldiers of our body, have multinucleated nucleus, come out of the blood and reach the site of infection by diapedesis, and they are phagocytic in nature. Now, second is your eosinophils. They stain red and help fight parasitic infections. And basophils, they mostly stain blue or purple with basic dye. These granules contain heparin, histamine, and other molecules that play a role in inflammation. They are mostly related to your allergic reactions. And when they move out of the tissue, they are also known as mast cells. Now, agranulocytes, these are also very important: neutrophils and agranulocytes. Agranulocytes were also of two types: monocytes and lymphocytes. Now, monocytes, again, they are also phagocytic in nature, means they capture the pathogen whenever these pathogens enter our body. And in tissues, when a pathogen enters, they migrate to the tissue and convert into macrophages or dendritic cells. Now, what are macrophages? Macro means large, phagous means to eat. So, these macrophages, what do? They surround and kill microorganisms, ingest all foreign material, remove the dead cells of our body, and boost immune responses. See, one of very important macrophages. What are macrophages? They are a type of leukocytes. What do? They surround and kill microorganisms. So this is known as phagocytosis. Not only microorganisms, foreign material, dead cells, and so they provide a very good immune response. And second types of monocytes are dendritic cells. What do these dendritic cells do? During inflammation, what is inflammation? Swelling. When any infection occurs, swelling occurs, these cells boost immune response by showing antigens on their surface to other cells of the immune system. What do? They detect antigens like bacteria, viruses, and they also coordinate both an innate and adaptive immunity. Innate and adaptive you will study later on. So they coordinate both an innate and adaptive immunity because they detect the antigens like bacteria and viruses or any pathogen. Second type of agranulocytes are lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are very important because these are the ones which are going to help us in the immune response. We'll study in detail in the acquired immunity. Small lymphocytes are known as B lymphocytes, and T lymphocytes and large lymphocytes are known as natural killer cells. Natural killer cells, what do? They mostly kill the pathogens. What do? They make perforins, which are chemicals when inserted into the plasma membrane of a microbe, make it so weak that breakdown of the cells, particularly their outer membrane, occurs and creates pores in the plasma membrane. These pores allow entry of water, by which they swell up and burst. And the cellular remains are then eaten by phagocytosis. So natural killer cells are also very important. What do? They make holes in the microorganisms, so the water enters, by which it swells up, and afterwards all are consumed by phagocytosis. And lymphocytes, B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes, we are going to study in detail. Now, types of immunity. Immunity is also of two types, innate and acquired. Now, what is innate immunity, children? See, if you'll see, there are so many viruses, bacteria, all are in our surrounding, but we do not get infections. Why? Because of the innate immunity. This immunity is present with us since birth. All the defense elements with which an individual is born and is always available to protect the body. So innate immunity is the immunity which we get since birth and protects us from various infections, from various pathogens. And acquired immunity is the immunity which we develop during our lifetime. Like, see, if you have a chicken pox once, next time you will not be infected by that. That we acquire during our lifetime. Innate is since birth, acquired is which we get it after birth, and this may be done naturally or by vaccination process. Now, what is the difference? Innate immunity, non-specific, means it will work in the same manner any pathogen occurs, like monocytes, neutrophils. They will kill the pathogens or any foreign particles, but acquired immunity is specific. it will make different types of antibodies for different antigens. So innate is non-specific, acquired is specific. Innate is present since birth, and acquired immunity we get it during our lifetime when any infection occurs in our body. Now, third point, immediately attacks pathogen. But in acquired immunity, it takes time. When the antigen enters our body, antibodies are made slowly, so it takes time. Innate immunity does not have a memory, but acquired immunity has a memory. Like I told you, chickenpox pathogens will enter. Next time when they will enter, these memory cells will produce antibodies against those pathogens and kill them. So innate immunity is the immunity since birth, and acquired immunity is the immunity which we develop during our lifetime. Now if we see, innate immunity is also divided into 4 parts. These are physical barriers, physiological barriers, cellular barriers, and cytokine barriers. Acquired immunity is also of 2 types, active and passive. Let's see the innate immunity in detail. Now, what are the physical barriers? Physical barriers means the barriers which will not let the pathogens enter our body physically. Main thing is your skin. If you'll see, the skin is the largest organ of our body, and it does not allow any pathogen to enter our body. Only they can enter when there is any cut or wound. So it is one of the main organ which does not let the microbes enter our body. And second is mucous membrane. The mucus secreted by mucous membranes traps the microorganisms and does not let them move. Like you will see the mucus present in your nasal trap or the respiratory pathway. So they are all trapped by the mucus. Any dust particles, microorganisms, all cannot enter the organ. So physical barriers are skin and mucous membrane. Second is physiological barriers. Now, as stomach acid, we know, na? The acid in the stomach kills the microorganism. Then lysozyme. It is present in our saliva. It is present in the tissue fluid, sweat also, urine also, cerebrospinal fluid also, and mostly in more amount in our tears from eyes. This lysozyme attacks bacteria and dissolves their cell walls. So it does not let the microorganisms harm any individual. Then the nasal hair. The hair present in our nose does not let the dust particles or other foreign particles enter our body. Then it has sweat. Sweat, it forms a protective acid film over the skin surface that inhibits the growth of many microbes, and sweat is produced by the sebaceous gland. So these are physiological barriers. Now third are cellular barriers. Cellular barriers are first type neutrophils. Like we have studied just now, what are neutrophils? Polymorphonuclear leukocytes. What is their main function? They are the most numerous of all leukocytes. They die after a few days and they have to be continuously replaced. But what do? They are highly motile and phagocytic in nature, and they are formed in the bone marrow from the stem cells. They mostly form about 40 to 75% of the blood leukocyte. So neutrophils are the most abundant leukocytes. Second are your monocytes. What are monocytes? They are the largest of all types of leukocytes and mostly amoeboid in nature. They are motile and phagocytic in nature, and when they enter the tissue, when any antigen occurs, they change into macrophages. Now, what are macrophages? Macrophages are phagocytic in nature, and they because they contains lysozymes. And last I told you natural killer cells. What are natural killer cells? What do? They produce perforins, which are chemicals which make holes or pores in the pathogens by which water enters, they swell up and burst, and then they are eaten by phagocytes. The last is your cytokine barriers. What are cytokine barriers? Cytokines are sometimes when any cells are infected by viruses, these cells produce a chemical known as interferons. This interferon protects other cells from viral infection. So this is also very important. Interferons. What are interferons? Interferons are produced by the cells which are infected by viruses, but they protect the other cells from being infected by viruses. So this is your innate immunity. How many types? Physical barriers, physiological barriers, cellular barriers, and cytokine barriers. So that's why cellular barriers we have studied it little early, that you may understand what are neutrophils, what are monocytes, what are macrophages, and what are natural killer cells. Now acquired immunity, children. Acquired immunity, it is also of two types. Active immunity and passive immunity. What is active immunity? Now, when any infection occurs, any antigen enters our body, and antibodies are produced by our body to protect us against that infection, that is known as active immunity. What are antibodies? Antibodies are proteins which attack those antigens and kill them and protect us from those infections. So this is active when our body is making ourselves, that is known as active. And sometimes what happens, antibodies are produced from outside. They are given from outside, that is known as passive immunity. Now active immunity takes time to develop because it will take time when antigens will enter, then our B lymphocytes will make antibodies, T lymphocytes help in producing those antibodies. So it takes some time. But this stage for a longer period, because once these pathogens enter our body, there are memory cells in the lymphocytes which always remember. If you see, active immunity is also of two types, natural and artificial. What is natural? When any antigen enters our body, like I gave you an example of chickenpox, those pathogens when they enter our body, antibodies will be produced. That's natural. Our body is making it. But sometimes it is artificial. Artificial is when antigens, weak or dead germs of a pathogen are injected in our body. And that is through vaccine. And then antibodies are produced which protect us from that infection. So artificial is through vaccination. Do you know what is vaccination? Vaccination is the process of introducing a vaccine. And what is vaccine? When weak or dead germs are introduced to our body to produce antibodies against that pathogens. That is artificial. So artificial is through vaccination, and natural is when antibodies are produced by our body against an infection. Now, what is passive immunity? Passive immunity is when ready-made antibodies are injected into a person to protect the body against foreign agents. Now, in this, when do we do it? When the immune response should be faster and it stays for a very short time, because antibodies are being produced from outside, so there are no memory cells for that. Now, what is natural? Natural is when these antibodies go directly, like if you'll see, immunoglobulin G antibodies can cross the placenta barrier to reach the fetus. That is natural. Or IgA antibodies are produced in the milk, colostrum, which we have studied before. So this is natural. Natural is, one example is IgG antibodies can cross placental barrier and reach the fetus, and second is the colostrum is rich in IgA antibodies, which is present in the milk in the initial stages, or 2 to 3 days. 2 to 3 days in the beginning. Now, what is artificial? Artificial immunity is when antibodies are directly administered to a person, like tetanus or rabies, because it will take time to develop antibodies inside our bodies, and if we need quick antibodies, so the antibodies are directly introduced to our body to protect us from that disease. So that is artificial. Like tetanus, anti-tetanus serum, it's prepared in horses by active immunization of horses with tetanus toxoid. So horses, they put the germs of tetanus and then antibodies are produced, and then these antibodies are introduced inside our bodies. So this is artificial. So acquired immunity is also of two types, active and passive. What is active? When antibodies are produced directly by our body, that is active, when the antigens enter, and artificial is through vaccination. And passive immunity, when naturally the antibodies cross through placenta, like IgG, and through colostrum, this immunoglobulin. And artificial is when antibodies like in tetanus or rabies are administered into the body of a person to protect them from that infection. So acquired immunity we are going to study in detail in the next topic. So this is one of the very important topic. Children, try to understand it and revise it. Thank you. वो भी भूल गई हाँ अपना